Hello everyone, I had a few questions about inverse function homework, so I will do questions 4 and 5 for you. So question 4 says calculate g of b and g prime of b where g is the inverse of f equal to x plus cosine of x where b is equal to 1. So for the first thing, we need to find the inverse function g of b evaluated at 1. So that means for what value of f we get the result of 1, since g is the inverse function. Then we basically need to solve the equation for f and set it equal to 1. And for some inverse functions, because they are hard to solve, it's sometimes easier just to plug in values and see if they work. So notice that if we plug in a equal to 0 at f of x, or let's call this f of a, we get 0 plus cosine of 0 is equal to 0 plus 1 is equal to 1, which then gives us that f of a is equal to f at 0 is equal to 1. Therefore, g of 1, which is the inverse function, so we just apply g and we plug that value in here to get this result of 0. So g of 1 would be 0. And then we'll be using the formula for the derivative of the inverse function, which is g prime at 1. We can find out by evaluating 1 over the derivative of f at g of 1. So let's find f prime first. F prime is the derivative of f, and our f function is right here. So the derivative of that would be 1. Derivative of cosine is negative sine of x, and then if we evaluate that at g of 1, we have found out right here that g at 1 is 0, so we're evaluating f prime at 0, which would become 1 minus sine of 0. Sine of 0 is 0, so that would be just 1. And to plug this back over here, we get 1 over 1 equal to 1. So our final results are g of 1 is equal to 0 and g prime of 1 is equal to 1. And this is what we have for question 4. Let me go ahead and do question 5 in the same video. So the question 5 I have in front of me states, let g of x be the inverse of f of x, and the function I have is x cubed plus 5x plus 2, and we need to find out g of 8 and g prime of 8, and we will use the same method. So first, because g is the inverse of f, that means that since we are looking for when g is 8, what value do we need to plug in for x to get 8? We're just substituting f of x equal to 8. F of x equal to 8, and we're gonna try to solve for x. So that becomes x cubed plus 5x plus 2 equal to 8. Because we have a third power here, it might be hard to factor, but notice that if we plug in x equal to 1, we get 1 cubed plus 5 times 1 plus 2 equals 8, which gives us that x equal to 1 is a solution. So that means that f of 1 is equal to 8, and working backwards, because g is the inverse, if we plug in 8 in g, we'll get the solution to be 1. So this is our first answer, and now using the inverse function formula, we'll find that g prime at 8 is 1 over f prime evaluated at g of 8. So again, let's find f prime, and f is right here, so that would become 3x squared plus 5, evaluating it at g of 8. We said that g of 8 is 1, so f prime at 1 would be just 3 times 1 is 3 plus 5 is 8. Plugging that back here, we have the result of 1, 8. So again, what you need to put in for the results is g of 8, which we get is 1, and g prime of 8, which we get as 1, 8. And this is how to solve those two questions. Thank you.